Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm a current rising senior at University Hall, which is up a little bit north in Wallingford. And I worked with Steve up there and also Supin, who is a host, Sigmund this summer on finding the inductance of a single loop of wire using Laplace's equations and numerical methods of calculation. So first, we'll simply breeze over the background. So dark matter comes from a few different experiments, two different data that states that visible matter only takes up a small fraction of the universe's density, and 27% of the entire universe is supposed to be non-visible or quote unquote dark matter. Axions are a good candidate for cold dark matter, which are non-relativistic dark matter. And axions were first theorized to be hypothetical solutions for the strong CP problem, in that it gets rid of the CP violating term of the QCD Lagrangian. And then because of that, axions are also theorized to have ultra low mass and no electric charge, which makes it a great candidate for cold dark matter. One important property of axions are for this presentation is the Kermakov effect, which dictates that under a strong electromagnetic field, axions decay into emitting photons. Axion haloscopes are this piece of technology that use that property in a microwave cavity permeated by a strong magnetic field that converts axion particles into emitting photons. Since we do not know the exact mass of the axion, the cavity needs to search through a range of frequencies, which we assume to roughly around 1 to 10 gigahertz. As shown in the image, the cavity is immersed in a magnetic field, magnets there, that create a very small signal that is read out and then amplified with different types of amplification. And the axion signal is resonantly enhanced when it is within the cavity bandwidth. So Haystack is the previous version of alpha, and it's one experiment that uses a haloscope. It uses a LD250 dilution fridge that has a base temperature of around 61 millikelvins and a niobium titanium magnet at 8 teslas. Its main mechanism involves a piezoelectric motor that acts as a tuner for different resonant frequencies of the haloscope. And different parts of the haystack include microwave cavity, all the way there, tiny little copper piece, the motor above it, and then shielding and JPA, or Josephson parametric amplifiers, which allow us to reach the standard quantum limit of amplification and even go beyond it, based on the method and procedure we use. And there's an extra dilution fridge plate and mixing chamber plate for the fridge function, and then other electronics at the top for sensing and whatnot. So the purpose of my project this summer was, in Haystack, we need a robust temperature measurement system to very high accuracy, since the Johnson noise of a 50 ohm resistor is used for calibration. And Johnson noise refers to the thermal agitation of electrons in a resistor, leading to like small voltage fluctuations. And furthermore, with that Johnson noise, we can extract the temperature with some calculations. This motivates this summer's main project, is to have a well-characterized resistor that is well coupled to a system at some temperature, measuring the voltage or current noise that will provide us a fundamental measurement of the temperature. We consider frequencies between 1 to 10 kilohertz and temperatures above 0.5 microkelvins so that the thermal field is classic. We will use SQUID evovoltometers to measure the noise current with high accuracy. The current experiment setup is a somewhat test trial version of the proper experiment. And we have a copper wire wound around a conducting copper rod in 15 loops. And we want to calculate the resistance of this setup while accounting for eddy currents in the material. So this is our current setup. Different parts include a CTC temperature controller, a LCR meter, a vacuum pump, so the cryostat can be emptied out to pump in the helium connected to the compressor for the helium, and the cryostat itself houses the aforementioned rod inside. The numerical method for this project involves calculating the numerical relaxation of an infinitely long rod. And since that rod is cylindrically symmetric and can be easily expressed in cylindrical coordinates, we will be using Bessel functions for the actual calculation. The equation for the vector potential can be written as such. And with this, we can compute out the resistance and inductance of that situation. The results of inputting these equations into MATLAB give us quite good looking vector potential loops, from which we can just extract the data and match up the values. So comparing data we get from these calculations and the aforementioned actual measurement on the LCR meter and the temperature controller, whatnot, gives us this for the resistance. You see, it doesn't really match that well the overall trend nor the values on the y-axis. However, there is a calibration that we need to complete, subtracting the base resistance of the system at 0 hertz, and then sorry. Also, the system, the calculation takes into account that the wire length needs to be infinite. However, that's not the case for the experimentation. So that does cause some sort of discrepancy in the overall data here. However, the inductance shows a little bit more similar results. And even though the experimental frequencies that we worked with were between 1,000 and 20,000 hertz, which is much smaller than the calculated higher graph on the right, but the trends seem to be matching somehow. Future steps after this point right now is proper data collection from the experiment using setup involving squids and documentation and further analysis, and hopefully a potential experimentation with the pumped helium cooler so we can get to lower temperatures. Thank you.